Alright, these new ecosystem benches are poised to become the next great thing to rock the home gym world. They promise to save space by performing multiple functions and by simplifying your setup. Sounds great to me, which is why I was stoked to receive the poster boy for this new movement, the Freak Athlete ABX Bench. Now I've got all their fancy attachments and I spent some real-time training with each of them. Not all of them work for me, we'll get into that, but overall, yeah, if Sauron were building out a home gym, I think he'd have his eye on this one. I'm going to tell you why. Let's get into the video. What's up guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Chris and this is Strength and Steel Reviews. I'm a certified personal trainer, an aging father, and someone who trains every day and has naively decided that recovery is more of a suggestion than a rule. In this particular case, my stubborn refusal to acknowledge my own mortality works in your favor because I have spent a lot of time with this Freak Athlete ABX Bench. Yeah, I've spent plenty of time with the bench, plenty of time with the attachments, and I've officially got some opinions to share with you. Now in advance, Freak Athlete did send this to me for free, and no, I have not been directed by them in any way. I'm a free man. What you're getting is my experience, good or bad. And if by the end of me relating this experience, you'd like to grab the ABX bench or any of the mentioned attachments, I'll link them all below. If you buy them through there, you support the channel, and I deeply appreciate that, I really do. Okay, let's get some stats out of the way. This thing weighs about 96 pounds, which is not exactly a feather light bench, but neither is it some hulking behemoth. For reference, my Titanic Rogue Adjustable Bench 3.0 weighed a whopping 125 pounds. And conversely, the Ironmaster Super Bench weighs about 60 pounds. So in my eyes, the ABX bench falls into that medium-ish weight class. And for me, in my little world, coming from the Rogue bench, this thing is an absolute dream. The wheels move easily, the knurled handle beneath the seat makes lifting it upright nice and convenient. I don't dread moving it, which is kind of a big thing here. It's light enough that I just move it, which is beautiful. There are no deep sighs, no overwhelming reluctance, and that is kind of my jam. If my equipment is not accessible or convenient to use, generally does not stick around. I like to want to use my equipment. I want to look forward to using it. And I am pleased to say that that is indeed the case here. I enjoy using the ABX bench, I really do. But you should know, if you don't, that this is not a budget-friendly bench. The ABX bench starts at 600 bucks, at least at the time of this video, and then there are all the attachments, some of which are quite expensive, some of which may be worthwhile to you, some of which may not. Thankfully, you do get to pick and choose, but we will get to all of that later. It all adds up pretty quickly, but honestly, I do think the price tag here is ultimately justified. The bench is extremely well made. There's knurling everywhere. The handle beneath the bench, the knobs, even the leg curl handles provided with the leg developer attachment are knurled. Yeah, there's a lot of knurling. It's unexpected, but it's really nice. And the vinyl padding is really comfortable. Way more comfortable than my Rogue bench. Way more comfortable. And then there's this awesome auto adjustment feature for the back and seat pad where, without any supplemental adjustments, the seat pad and the back pad perfectly align as you modify the incline, eliminating any gap that would otherwise exist. Personally, I really don't like a seat gap, so this is great, and the lack of effort required to accomplish it makes it even more great. And as you can see, you can stand the whole bench upright, which my Rogue bench also did, one of its few redeeming features in hindsight, other than its obvious durability. But honestly, the ability to store this bench upright, or any bench for that matter, is an amazing feature that I officially cannot imagine living without. It is just such a simple way to save space in your home gym. The ABX bench also has this adjustable headrest, which is honestly fantastic. It's a great addition. It's great for doing rows, for shoulder presses, and later I'll even show you how to do preacher curls, one of my favorite bicep exercises of all time. It's really easy to adjust. There are multiple different positions that you can set it to, and it can withstand a lot of weight. I've even spent some time standing atop it. It hardly budges. And then beneath the bench, along the ladder style adjustment system, we have laser engraved markings for all of the different attachments, which again makes my life easier and makes me want to use this thing. Little details like that are so important to me. I mean, the amount of forethought and planning that they put into this thing is genuinely impressive to me. The whole system is far more intuitive and overall more user-friendly than their Hyper Pro was, in my humble opinion. Especially once you get the hang of installing all the attachments, which I will show you, it gets easier and easier to use. It is, again, intuitive. And if you do have any trouble, there are assembly videos online for all the attachments. Everything is super clear, it's concise, it's well organized. The owner, Yogi, actually made them himself, and he's an awesome guy, by the way. He genuinely loves what he's doing here with Freak Athlete, and that's exactly who you want at the helm. Someone who cares. And trust me, he definitely cares. But okay, I think it's time to discuss the attachments. I'm gonna start off with my favorite attachments, and I'm gonna work in descending order towards my least favorite attachments. What drama? Let's begin. Favorite attachment number 1, the bicep attachment. I love this thing, particularly for preacher curls. Now, the one negative about it is that it's pretty beefy. So you're going to have to find either a section of your floor or maybe some pegboard, which is what I've done. Here's some B-roll of me showing it, but it's a pretty beefy piece. It's second in size only to the leg developer attachment, which I'll review soon. But I had been looking for a preacher pad for the longest time. So when I saw Freak Athlete was actually offering something like this, I was excited, and I think it works really well. Technically, it performs 2 functions. I use one far more than the other, but let me show you how to set this thing up. Okay, first I set it to about 45 degrees. You can change the angle depending on your preferences, but I think it's a good starting point. Then take the attachment. There's a port in the top hole. Slide it right in. And then you're gonna push the whole thing forward, and there'll be an included pin. Slide it right in here, and you should be good to go. Now, this is the first function. This is for bicep curls. These pads are used to support your elbows. Here's some B-roll of me doing it. I don't really enjoy this as much. If I'm doing incline curls, I like it when my elbows hang back. I know that Mike from Hybrid Resistance said the same thing. But it's true for me, and I said it before him during my Kepi adjustable bench video, so joke's on you, Mike, if you're watching this. Anyway, to transition to the preacher curl, you're gonna take each elbow pad, slide them forward. Then you're gonna lower the headrest. So there's a pin here, you'll get used to it once you actually own the bench. Lower the headrest to a pretty steep angle. Should go about there. Okay, and now you're in your preacher mode, it's preacher curl functionality. Generally, I like doing this with the easy bar. So there I am, B-roll for you. But I'll show you in real time using the dumbbells. You can do 2 at a time. You can do 1 at a time also. But I really love this because preacher curls enable me to kind of go towards failure. You can fail, reset, and you can avoid cheating all the while. One small issue before I proceed to the next attachment. Now, generally when I'm using the preacher functionality, my butt isn't flat against the pad. It's kind of hanging in the air a little bit. So I don't find it to be extremely uncomfortable. Maybe if I was taller, that would not be the case. I'm 5'9", so maybe if you're 6 foot or I don't know, if you got longer legs, that would be better. But even as it stands, I don't find it to be irritable. I love this attachment. Again, it's a little big. This is my favorite. This is my most often used. I love it. All right, attachment number 2 would be the leg developer attachment. I love this thing. This is much, much lighter than what I had reviewed with the Rep Fitness leg developer attachment. I think this is as light as I could imagine a leg developer actually being. It's still gonna take up a pretty sizable amount of space. I don't think you can really hang it on the wall unless you get really creative, but comparatively, it is really light. And again, compared to that Rep Fitness leg curl, leg extension attachment, this thing is a dream. All right, let me show you how to set it up. So first, you're gonna go to the LD right there for a leg developer. This is really simple, really easy. Then you're just gonna slide her right in through this port, pull out the pin, clicks in, and now you just tighten this knurled knob, and that's it. Like, you're good to go. The setup time is so fantastically brief. I absolutely love it. All right, first let me show you the leg extension functionality because I think that's generally what most people are excited about. Now, this feels really good. I mean, it feels much better when you're hooked up to the cable stack. Let me show you some B-roll of me doing that right now. That feels fantastic. I'd imagine if you had a Vulture, it would feel even better. Most of you are probably just going to want to use the plate-loaded version, which generally is imperfect. I won't go about all the complaints that arise when operating a plate-loaded machine, notably the resistance profile, the strength curve. You should know what to expect by now. But overall, as a plate-loaded machine, a plate-loaded leg extension, I think it feels really good. It's still going to be lightest at the top and kind of wonky at the bottom, but it feels really good. And this thing is not a plate eater. That's another really good part of it. You get a good range of motion. There's still going to be the bar at the bottom right here, but the range of motion is still really good. If I lean back a little bit, I don't naturally drift beyond this position. It feels fantastic, especially for a piece that's so light. Really good. And let me show you the leg curl functionality real quick. Okay, mounting is pretty easy, also easier than Rep Fitness's leg extension leg curl attachment. And this also has knurled handles that you will receive along with the leg developer attachment that bolt into the bottom. I think this is an amazing addition. I applaud them for that forethought. And this feels really good. Really good. Great stretch. The angle is comfortable. Again, this padding, terrific. For a leg developer attachment, I think they really did a good job with this piece. Something that you should keep in mind is that this leg developer attachment is like $400, which is nearing the total cost of the ABX bench itself. So just be sure you're really willing to commit to the ecosystem. If you are and you want a leg developer attachment, then I wholeheartedly approve of this system, this setup, and this piece. All right, attachment number 3 would be the decline sit-up attachment. I do really like doing a classic decline sit-up, and I think just generally due to the ease of setting up this attachment, the ease of setting up pretty much all of their attachments, that I am prone to using this more than I thought I might have otherwise. And so to set it up, all you're gonna do is go to sit up on the adjustment system, make sure the handle is facing upward, slide into this pot pin, and you're good to go. Tighten this same knob, and voila, we're in action. I'm endlessly surprised by how sturdy this bench actually feels. It feels really good. And this is pretty much the only thing that I'm going to be using the decline sit-up attachment for, but it isn't a heavy attachment. I can store it pretty easily on my wall, so I will be using it. So that's attachment number 3. And last, but not least, would be the dip attachment. Now, I don't have this last because it's this horrible attachment that serves no use. I have it last for a couple of reasons. First, let me show you how to set it up. It's just as easy to set up as any of the other pieces. You're gonna slide the incline up to the point where it says DIT at 60 degrees. Then slide in the attachment right here through the pot pin, just like you do with the rest. Tighten the knurled knob, and you're good to go. Now, a standard dip feels pretty good. It wobbles a little bit, but that's kind of to be expected. But it feels really good. You know, the handles aren't knurled or anything. There's nothing overly fancy about it, but it does keep the attachment light, which is all I really care about. The reason why I have it as 4th is because when I strap on my weight belt, the plates tend to hit this section of the bench beneath my feet. Now that limits my range of motion, and worse, it just distracts me from doing the movement properly. So instead of a weight belt, I have to apply my Kensui weight vest. It's not the end of the world, but I prefer using my weight belt. So instead, usually I find myself gravitating towards my Mutant Metals dip attachment, which I have fastened to my rack. I don't use this that often, but it's so light that I couldn't imagine getting rid of the attachment. I still think it is really well configured, just like all of the rest of their attachments. It's easy to remove, it's easy to install, and it's a pleasure to have around. All right, okay, that's it. Listen, if you can't tell, I love this bench, I really do. I love getting to review equipment that I actually enjoy, and to my great relief, this is one of those moments. Now in advance, I have not tried the Apex bench from Tib Bar Guy, though I definitely want to. Personally, I'm not that into a bench that performs over a dozen different functions because that likely means that I'm going to have many more attachments that I have to store, and I am very, very picky about what is lying around here, what's fastened to walls, because wall space, floor space, every home gym, that's precious real estate, and that is certainly the case here. But I still want to see that bench because I know that might be suitable for a lot of you with really small spaces that want to make do with multifunctional pieces like that. And also, the members only channel is officially live. On it, I work out, I sweat, I explain the methods to my madness, and plenty of other fun things are coming there too. Thanks to those that have already joined. If you think you might be interested, check out the link below in the description. I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And overall, subscribe for more honest reviews. Plenty more cool stuff is on the way. Like the video to support the all-powerful and enigmatic algorithm, and comment below whether you've tried the ABX bench, and if you have, what your thoughts are thus far. Otherwise, you know the deal. You guys stay strong and you stay steely. I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.